This got to be a slap in the face. Not even a slap. It's got to be a punch in the gut and the ribs. So
I didn't see this coming.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
And I don't know how many people in Mexico feel this way. I don't know if this is just a thing or just a small group down niche of people that's emotional saying this, but I'm curious to see. So it says on this clip, this is why it popped up today, and I was like, you capping. I was like, ain't no way. It said,
extend it, make it full screen so they don't see the background. Yeah.
Rioters in Mexico demand that Americans stop migrating to their country and stop stealing their homes. You can't make this up. Locals are fuming that Americans are imposing their culture and taking over. Some went as far to say that gringos, which are green go home, Americans go home, should be killed, while others told them to get out of Mexico. Since COVID, American digital nomads have been flocking to Mexico City. Mexico City is going through a transformation. There are a lot of foreigners, namely Americans, coming to live here, said one local. So they're going to play the clip, and I got another clip I want to play about that. And yeah.
Wow, I did not see that
crap,
coming.
I closed the video, something I didn't want to. Okay. But it's not related to this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, that was quick. Nope. I definitely ain't taking the opinion of a spicy Mexican. I ain't taking you serious.
What is going on with all that face stuff though? Good.
This dude way too spicy. So this is the liberals of Mexico. Okay, so I ain't after I just saw this 2 seconds, I ain't taking this serious what they protest and what they fighting for.
Poner su cultura, sus precios y desplazar a los mexicanos, a los nativos de estas tierras.
So look at it. They look like they're Antifa style Hispanic.
Wow.
Look how young these are. These are college kids.
Anticapitalista, antipatriarcal, anticlasista, proletario.
Look at that dude walking fast in the mud, boy. He didn't feel his life, boy.
Where is this? They must live
This
there.
is Mexico City. Mexico City. Not over on our end, but it's Mexico City, Mexico.
Wow.
Bueno que no estuviste,
Oh, somebody brought that had a Tesla on it.
Wow.
But if you notice, before I go to the next clip, these are all teeny bopper Hispanic children. These are college, high school style kids. You don't see no real adults in there. These are like the same people that be running to 7-Eleven and they raid the 7-Elevens in LA. I can't take y'all serious. That might be how y'all feeling, but man, please, I can't take y'all serious. I'm gonna go to the next clip. I'm gonna see. It's just give a little bit more details of the same, but I want to see
What's going on. Okay.
These protesters in Mexico City say cross-border migration is changing their country's capital for the worse.
Wow. But
Over
why
the last
bust into the
decade,
store?
an influx of mostly American so-called digital nomads have moved here to work remotely.
But you see they're going to
and
steal.
also enjoy a
That's the same crap they be doing over here.
Yeah.
What's the difference of that and LA? It's nothing.
Yeah.
Cheaper cost of living. Protesters say the newcomers have driven up rents beyond the reach of locals.
If they're going to live in a country, they have to contribute to that country. The first and simplest issue is legal migration. They come here with visas or no visas, and still the change in purchasing power generates these problems of gentrification and displacement.
I'm here because gentrification is just one more step towards colonization, dispossession, and the exploitation of our resources. Right now it's about the people, but it won't be long before they run out of oil, water, or lithium in other countries and come and take them from us.
Pause. How does that even sound? That sounds so stupid, because don't you come over here in our country and use our resources and take it back to your country?
It's a double.
What in the Sam Hill? That sounds so stupid to me. That makes no absolute sense. Sit down, little girl, and shut up.
Yeah, that sounds crazy. And second of all, Mexico will always be for Mexicans. Americans are never going to take over Mexico. That is bull crap to the farthest of the farthest. Americans are never going to take over, be able to colonize Mexico. That's bull crap. Now, certain things can be raised where the borders are because it'd be cheaper to do things there than it is to do in Mexico land. So things could go up on the border itself, but throughout entire Mexico City, I doubt it. So that's right here, just like where we close right here, California and Mexico border. Yeah, on the border, it will be higher for a person that is in Mexico. That's Mexico, because it's going to be the Mexican wages that you're buying things, and you might have to go further out. But for American, it's going to be a lot cheaper than it costs to America. So the border, yes, but that's never going to happen. It's never going to colonize the whole country, because that's how she's talking. She's talking like they going to lose all their resources, their oil. No, that's not going down. Mm-hmm. It's not going to go down.
Many Americans in Mexico are able to still receive high salaries in dollars from U.S. companies by working on laptops from their apartments.
The government is directing its public policies towards people with higher purchasing power, often illegally displacing local populations who have lived in these neighborhoods for 40, 50, and we have even documented cases of up to 60 years. In 5 years, rents have increased by 47%. This is violent for the local population.
And those are the downsides. That is the downside, because when you come as American, you come over with your American dollars, which is going to be more than the peso, and they're going to raise it because this is still going to be super affordable for the American person to enjoy a life here. But this is going to be astronomical. That's like a person moving to Beverly Hills. Mm-hmm. And your people only with money are going there. Mm-hmm. That could have been a lot cheaper back in the day, and then they separated themselves, and then only the people with money could afford that. So now I get that with the rent. The rent thing can suck, and then you probably have to go a little further out to get regular rent for Mexican wages that can afford that.
Yeah.
But he said most of these people still work for U.S.-based companies, and then they ain't talking like this over here on our side of the border, because people go back and forth over here working. They'll go a lot. So many Hispanic people go work on the U.S. side and live on the Mexico side. Right. So they got their own thing going on in Mexico City, but I guarantee you it's not making this don't seem like the same thing going on here on this end. Mm-hmm. That's going on that side.
Right.
We are debating whether to pay for electricity, water, or food. Of course, we choose to eat.
Some activists blame Mexico's government for encouraging them. However, there's no simple fix. Imposing tougher visa restrictions on Americans could worsen relations with the U.S. Mexican citizens in the U.S. also send billions of dollars in remittances back to their families in Mexico. Mm-hmm. In a world where travel and communication are faster and easier than ever, these two nations are finding it harder to have neighborly relations. Wilson Dysart, Al Jazeera.
Now, I think that's a big shot in the face, though. That is a shot in the face. You go over here. I'm not a fan of this. And I'm not a fan of this. I know a lot of Hispanic people do this, but I'm not a fan of you take the American money, because you see, you like, okay, this is endless money, and I'm take this and I'm gonna send this all the way back to my country. I'm not gonna build up this country. I'm gonna take from this one and build up this one. Mm-hmm. You can't take from Mexico and then say I'm gonna send to America. It's not gonna do you no good.
Right.
You gotta have the money already there before you go there. So
true.
You are. So that's a slap in the face. I think that's so disrespectful. And to say, and then you look over and then you look at the Mexican people that were in LA riding with the Mexican flags, burning down stuff, cutting the food, saying you can't deport me. What kind of what pick a side, bruh?
Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And then there was a group of young people.
Yeah.
These are people, this just like your people that be on the college campuses with that just become an adult, and you got your first emotional revolution going on.
Yeah. Well, you can't have your cake and eat it too. So you need to make a decision.
You make a decision.
Make a decision.
Do you want to be so if that's the case, if it's you acting like that, okay. What if all the Mexican people in America go back to Mexico? And you can't have that same conversation and say, well, California, all this was Mexico. Yeah, but Mexico lost that. Now it's America. So you can't. So now, if you want to go back, you have to go. You have to go back to Mexican land. That's still active Mexican land, Mexican government, and people ain't gonna do that. So I think that's the protest is whack, because on the one end you want it like this, but then what about your family members? That's probably half y'all probably got family members on the state side.
Yeah.
So what you telling them? What's the conversation like? Come back to Mexico? And doubt it.
Right.
Bet that money
just bring the resources.
Right. Bet that money is coming from the States and coming back over there.
Yep. Just bring the resources.
I think that's bullcat. That's a slap in the face.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course, everybody doesn't feel that way, but still a lot of them do use our resources and send it back to their country.
But also on top of that,
to their family,
the
relatives.
people in America are bringing their Mexican dollars and they're building up Mexico that way. Mm-hmm. They're not talking about that. They're just talking about how it just shoots up their rent. But also, it's funding your local stores.
Yep.
It's funding your grocery stores. It's funding your power companies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you're building and playing into the system. You just don't like it that the cost that the cost that American has is going to be that dollar is going to be a lot higher. So it is going to have some raise on you. But I mean, which one when you send all out, you take all the Americans, you tell them get all out of Mexico, I believe their economy would completely go down, especially the ones they built up on a higher level, like their doctors and all that stuff like that, their medical.
Yeah.
I think that way it would take a massive tank. Mm-hmm. So the dollar is needed, but things will go up. That's how it goes in countries.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Unless you're completely so far detached from America, you're like Cuba somewhere.
Yeah, I couldn't believe when I saw that. I was like, what? So I wonder how the people who are there, are they going to leave? Are they going to stay there and continue to put themselves at risk?
You saw how that white man took off? He took off in fear?
Of course.
Man, I guarantee that man probably, if it calmed down after that, he probably went back to life. But if he was scared enough, he was like, man, I'm about to get out of here.
Yeah, it's no way. I wouldn't be calming down after that. Nope. It's time for me to rethink this thing. Alexa, cancel.
I don't see this over there on this end of where we go, because we always going over to Mexico. There's nothing but love over there. So I don't see with the Mexico. There's some differences or whatever they got going on versus what's going on over here, because it's San Diego and Mexico. So you go across the border on the San Diego side, it's expensive. The Mexico side ain't the cheapest no more like it is either.
No,
so
it's not at all. Yep. So I don't know. Interesting. We gotta, just keep an eye on this and zoom in and pay attention, because we go over.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always on alert.
Doctors and dentists and stuff. So, yeah.
But I'm all about respecting your country, building your country. The funds I take over there help your country. They're not the funds I take to Mexico don't help American. It helps Mexico country, and it also blesses and helps me because it's at a better cost. So
no, we respect countries that we go in and visit, frequent, or whatever. Mindset is completely different. It's a privilege. Who was that said that? It's a privilege when you're in another country. It's a privilege to be
that
here
I can be here.
country.
That you let me in your country to be in your country, to spend money and do things whatever I came to do. That's a blessing. You let me in here.
It's a privilege. Who said that? Didn't we do a video out there where they said it's a privilege to be over here in this country? Mm-hmm. It sure is. That's right. Same thing when we go and visit your country. It's a privilege for us to be there.
Now,
treated with respect.
I'm gonna say on this one thing I don't agree with, when people go over with so you go over with your visas, and you can buy a home, you can get a place, and you can do certain things. But she said visas or no visas. No, then we can't, as Americans, you don't need to be doing that either. You need to make sure your stuff is on top. Because sometimes the Mexico system ain't like the American system. You can duck and hide off without your visa being renewed and keep on living life. Unless you would have caused some kind of trouble and someone would see your visa.
Right.
But if you just living life, they probably ain't they're not looking at your visa. No. Unless you need a driver's license and you need to do some other things. Right. They're not looking at your visa. So Americans need to do right the same way too. Don't go up and just you feeling with the entitlement. I ain't got to renew my visa, but I'm going to buy up stuff. No. Do it right.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, y'all.
Love you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Like this video and share it.
We'll see you on the next one.